Why hello there. So behind me is Mount Rogers, right up there. And I'm about to hike up to it, and it should be pretty cool. So we'll see what happens. Here we are. Should be about 4.5 miles to the top. Should be interesting. All right, here we go. I don't know how well you can see that, but we're starting to come into some fog up here. That's pretty cool. Guess we're getting up into the clouds. As you can see, this tree has grown around quite a large boulder. Neat. So for those of you who don't know, Mount Rogers is the tallest mountain in Virginia at some 5,700 feet. I don't remember what the exact number is. It's a rather broad peak, which is kind of interesting. It's actually the remnants of a 700 million year old rhyolite volcano. So that's pretty cool. We don't have a whole lot of that in Virginia, aside from here and Whitetop, to my knowledge. You know, a little bit of really young Jurassic, 151-ish million year old rhyolite in Charlottesville, very small amounts of it, and that's really curious. And for those of you all who don't know what rhyolite is, it is an extrusive igneous rock. So many of you probably know basalt, which is what's erupting commonly on Hawaii, for instance. It flows really fast. Rhyolite does not do that. It's basically the extrusive, say, volcanic version of granite. It's usually light in color, kind of light compared to something like, weight-wise, compared to something like basalt. But it's rather explosive. It has to do with the way the silicon bonds and whatnot makes it more viscous. So it typically explodes. You get a lot of it out west. So in Arizona and whatnot, you get a lot of rhyolite. So, pretty neat. So, I just told you that the rocks that make up the top of Mount Rogers are 700 million years old. And some of y'all are probably saying, yeah, right, how do you know that? Well, we geologists have a little thing called radiometric dating. And no, I'm not talking about carbon dating. That doesn't work for this. It only works for carbon, and that's only good down to about 70,000 years. So, and that's organic carbon, by the way. So, what we like to do commonly is to use a mineral called zircon. So that's a zirconium silicon dioxide, and it's pretty common in igneous rocks, especially felsic igneous rocks, things like rhyolite, granites. And so, what happens sometimes when minerals form, when they're cooling from the magma, different elements may substitute for one another, depending on their size and their affinity, where they're at on the periodic table. They can substitute for one another. And as you know, uranium is radioactive, and so uranium will commonly substitute for zirconium. And so, over time, through a rather complicated decay path, the uranium, both 235 and 238, will decay into lead. So U-238 will decay into lead-206. Its half-life is on the order of like 4 billion years. You can go pretty far back with that one. And U-235 goes back to lead-207, and that one has, I think, what is it, 700 and something million year half-life. That's a pretty long time. And so, what we do is that since the decay rate is constant, we can look at the ratio of the parent, that being the uranium, to the daughter element, that being the lead. And so, if you know your decay constant, how often the uranium turns into a lead, you can calculate the age of that mineral. Now, that's all fine and good, but that assumes a closed system. So, say you heat up that mineral and remelt it, you've effectively reset your clock. Zircon is good because it cools at like 800 something C, so it's pretty hot. It's already crystallized before the majority of, say a granitic melt has even cooled, really. Other minerals you can do this with, radiometric dating wise, things like biotite, muscovite, case bar, so the potassium decays into argon. You can do that with muscovite, argon. But those have much lower closure temperatures, so that means that, say you metamorphose, say a granite, or take a schist, it's got a lot of muscovite in it. Alright, so you can get basically the last time it was at its closure temperature. That doesn't really tell you a whole lot about the actual age of the rock, just the last time that mineral, say muscovite, was at that closure temperature. It may be 800 million years old and have undergone 3, maybe 4 orogenic events. But all we can get with something like muscovite is the last one. And so if you're on the East Coast, that's going to be the Appalachian orogeny, which is what pushed up the Blue Ridge today. Something like zircon, on the other hand, yeah, you'll grow metamorphic rims, and that means that new mineral grew around the zircon during metamorphism, but the core will remain intact. So even if the rock has undergone, enjoyed deformation multiple times, it will still have that signature from when it crystallized originally. So for these rocks up here, they survived, at least the zircon ages survived. So that's pretty neat. I don't know if y'all wanted to know that, but now you do. So there you go. Well, I think I know which way to go. Well, this rock looks like a lizard, maybe a turtle. That's kind of cool. And after being in the woods for all that time, it opens up again. It's quite a view. All right. So, after a bit of a wrong turn, back there where I said, oh look, I'm finally out of the trees. Yeah, that's not really the trail. Finally made it to the very top of Mount Rogers, and I am standing on the very highest point. There we go. As you can see, everything else around me is lower. And we also have this benchmark, U.S. Coast Geodetic Survey, Mount Rogers, 1930 to 1933. There you go. That's it. I was going to fly the drone around here, but yeah, there's too many trees, and technically it's the 18th, so I'm not supposed to anyway. I do have some footage of Whitetop that I'll have down below. It didn't turn out great because I smudged the lens, but I'll put it up anyway if you want to see, so you get to see a view from the second highest point, looking at the highest point in the state of Virginia. So, there we go. Now it's for the long 4.5 mile walk down. Hopefully that'll take a lot less time. Alright, so I'm making my way down. Man, look at this site. That's quite a view. Virginia Highlands. Southwest part of the state is awesome, ain't it? Alright, onward. So, pretty much done. Back out in the pasture, horse field, cow field, whatever, dodging these cow pies, if you will. But yeah, that's Mount Rogers is back there somewhere. There's Whitetop. Boop, right there, second tallest. And so, almost done. So I hope you enjoyed watching me walk around, I guess. Maybe you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you didn't, oh well, sorry. If you did, you could hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to. I don't really care. It's not like I'm making a career out of this, but hope you enjoyed it. looky there. There's the parking lot and a bunch of beef goats.